2 weeks before my wedding, my sister announced that she was going to wear white to it. Not a cream accent, not a blush dress, a full white gown because, in her words, you don't own a colour. She thought she was going to upstage me on the most important day of my life. Instead, she walked into a room where every single guest was in on a secret she didn't know. Let me back up. My sister Vanessa has spent her entire life needing to be the centre of attention. If I got good news, she had better news. If I was sad, her day was somehow worse. When I got engaged to my fiancé, Mark, the first thing she said was not congratulations. It was, "Well, don't expect me to plan anything, I'm very busy." I didn't expect anything from her. What I did expect was basic decency. I was wrong to expect even that. The trouble started at my dress fitting, which Vanessa invited herself to. She spent the whole time criticising my choices, then loudly wondered whether she might just wear white too, since it suits me better anyway. My mother laughed nervously. I told her clearly that wearing white to my wedding was not okay. Vanessa smiled and said, "It's just a colour, don't be so insecure." I let it go in the moment, but I didn't forget it. Over the next week, Vanessa made sure everyone knew her plan. She told our cousins. She told my aunt. She posted a vague comment online about how some brides don't own the whole rainbow. She wanted the drama. She wanted me to beg her not to. She wanted me to cry and plead so that she could feel powerful. So I did the opposite. I stopped bringing it up entirely. I acted completely unbothered. And quietly, I made some calls. Here's what I did. I contacted every important guest personally. My bridesmaids, my close family, Mark's family, our friends. I explained the situation calmly and I asked for one small favour. I asked the women to wear white or cream or ivory, anything in that family, to the ceremony, not to upstage me, to make a point. You see, the tradition that only the bride wears white only has power when everyone else respects it. Vanessa was trying to weaponize that tradition to steal my spotlight. So I decided to simply remove the weapon. If everyone wore white, then no one wore white. It would just be a colour again, exactly like she kept insisting. Almost everyone said yes immediately. A few laughed out loud when I explained. My future mother-in-law, who had watched Vanessa's behaviour with growing distaste, said it would be her honour. Word spread among the guests, quietly, carefully, and Vanessa heard none of it, because the people who would have told her were the ones I hadn't let in on the plan. For my own dress, I made one change. I'd originally chosen a classic white gown. I switched it at the last minute to a deep, striking emerald green. Custom, dramatic, unforgettable. If the whole room was going to be white, the bride was going to be the one splash of colour anyone remembered. The wedding day came. I got ready separately from Vanessa, so she had no idea. When I stepped out for the ceremony in that emerald gown, there was an audible gasp, the good kind. I looked, if I do say so myself, spectacular. And Vanessa? She walked in wearing her white gown, chin up, ready for her moment of triumph, and slowly realised that she was standing in a sea of white dresses, bridesmaids in white, aunts in cream, friends in ivory. She was not the exception. She was not even noticeable. She was just one more person in white at a wedding where the bride wore green and glowed like a queen. Her face went through about 5 emotions in 10 seconds. Confusion, realisation, humiliation. She had planned to be the story of the day. Instead, she was invisible. She cornered me later, hissing that I'd made everyone dress like that on purpose. I looked at her, genuinely calm, and said, "You told me white was just a colour and I didn't own it. You were right. So I let everyone wear it. You look lovely. So does everyone else." She had no response because there wasn't one. She'd built the trap herself. I'd simply let her walk into it. The photos are some of my favourite things I own. A room full of white and one radiant bride in emerald green, laughing with her new husband. Vanessa is in a few of them, somewhere in the background, blending in perfectly. We're not close anymore, and honestly that started long before the wedding. But something did change that day. Vanessa learned that I would no longer beg her to behave, and that if she tried to make my moment about her, I would calmly turn it into a moment she'd remember for very different reasons. She wanted to be unforgettable at my wedding. In the end, I was the one nobody could take their eyes off. And I never had to say a cruel word to make it happen. Sometimes the best response to someone reaching for your spotlight is to simply hand them the exact thing they asked for and let them discover it was never the prize they thought it was.